The story begins when an asteroid is seen entering Earth's atmosphere. However, the object isn't just an ordinary rock, it's actually an alien egg shaped like a giant black spider known as Black Widow. Soon after, a little girl named Maria sneaks into her neighbor's storage room to take a doll. To her surprise, she finds a tiny spider that can imitate the sound of her phone. Curious and amazed, Maria puts the creature into a small box. Alice, the elderly owner of the storage room, is puzzled to find a hole in her window and several broken antique toys. Meanwhile, Maria takes the spider to her room, places it inside a jar, and decides to keep it as a pet, naming it Sting. When her father, Ethan, enters the room, he scolds Maria for making a mess in Alice's storage. Maria tries to deny it, but Ethan remains angry. In the living room, Maria's mother asks her to look after her little brother. Even though she doesn't want to, Maria agrees. Later that afternoon, she notices Sting looks hungry, so she feeds it a cockroach. The spider devours it instantly. Without realizing it, after eating several insects, Sting starts to grow larger. That night, when everything becomes quiet, the alien spider escapes from the jar and begins hunting other animals nearby. The next morning, the apartment building is in chaos after Alice's pet parrot is found dead in a strange condition. Alice assumes that rats are to blame and calls a pest control worker named Frank. But after checking, Frank suspects the death wasn't caused by rats, but by a small, unknown creature that looks like an insect. In Maria's room, Sting can now mimic various sounds, including animal noises from YouTube videos. When Maria tries to feed it again, she notices that Sting seems to hate the smell of camphor from the scarf her grandmother gave her. Sting's rapid growth makes Maria increasingly worried. Meanwhile, Frank begins spraying insecticide all over the apartment. He warns Maria that spiders are not safe pets, but she insists that Sting is different. When Frank looks at the jar, he becomes curious about the strange creature the girl is keeping. That night, Sting grows more aggressive and goes out to hunt again. In another room, an elderly woman named Maria wakes up to take her medicine. Without realizing it, the alien spider targets her, bites her, and kills her brutally. The next day, Maria visits a scientist named Eric to ask why Sting is growing so fast. She shows him how Sting catches its prey in the dark. Eric quickly concludes that Sting isn't a normal spider and offers to study it further while building a large tank for it. Elsewhere, Ethan and his wife hear strange noises coming from the ventilation system. When they check, they find Maria's dog trapped inside. Moments later, Ethan discovers Maria dead, her body swollen like Alice's parrot. The police soon arrive and remove the body. At Eric's apartment, he shows Ethan the results of his research. Sting is actually a highly venomous Black Widow species. Ethan is shocked and scolds Maria harshly. Feeling hurt, Maria runs away from home. Meanwhile, Grandma Alice, who is looking for her missing cat, hears strange sounds coming from the vents. When she checks, Sting imitates the cat's meow to lure her closer. Moments later, Alice is caught in a giant web spun by the monstrous spider. Suddenly, Maria hears her little brother screaming. He's being pulled into the vents by Sting. Panicking, she tries to save her family by making a weapon from water mixed with camphor, a smell the spider hates. She eventually finds her father and Grandma Alice trapped in Sting's web but still alive. In the middle of the chaos, Frank the Exterminator shows up again, but is immediately killed and eaten by Sting. Maria, running out of camphor, struggles to stay calm. Finally, Ethan and his wife manage to use a garbage compactor to crush the monstrous spider. even though Ethan is electrocuted during the fight. Sting is finally crushed to death inside the machine. Ethan survives, though badly injured from the electric shock. However, without anyone realizing it, Sting's eggs begin to hatch. Everything started with Maria's curiosity, a simple act of keeping an alien creature as a pet that ended up bringing disaster to everyone.